Welcome to New Festival Cove Haunted House.
What you are about to see and hear are the events when goblin pirates took over the semi-abandoned Festival Cove area. Many things you will see will be reenactments of what it looked like at that time, as this haunted house has been restored and preserved as a historical haunted house. When you first enter the building, everything appears like a normal home. A fireplace, a comfy bear rug, everything was quite nice and quaint. It was the home of the Morgan family until one day when a major fight broke out. Goblin pirates crashed upon the sandy beach and started attacking the village. The leader of the village tried to settle the attack through negotiation, but an agreement could not be made. As we can see on the left, when the negotiation failed, Mr. Morgan slammed his fist down on the table and broke the table in half. After that, the goblin pirates tortured and killed him.
As you walk through to the left, animals were stored in cages in order to prepare them for slaughter.
We walked to the butcher table. Young Jack Morgan, the butcher, butchered meat every day for his daily chores, cutting each animal perfectly, then throwing the eyeballs into a food storage bin, while someone else, usually his sister Rose Morgan, hauled the uncooked meat to the kitchen. We continued through the house. After the battle, the goblin pirates installed many cedarwood stick traps in order to prevent any additional humans from reaching the kitchen and food. Be careful while walking through this hallway.
We continue walking until we reach the kitchen. The kitchen used to be the nightly gathering place for the Morgan family, but when the goblin pirates arrived, they took over the place for their own meal setting. The goblin pirates even drank wine from goblin skull cups made of former brethren. The kitchen has 3 ovens for cooking meals. A typical meal around here usually consisted of a stone shard, a couple eyeballs, a piece of meat, and a very tasty vegetable herb broth. Some called it bloodstone soup, but after the special spells on the ovens were destroyed, I'm not sure how that formula works now. Any unusable human remains were moved up to the second floor, so let's proceed up the stairs to the second floor. This room on the second floor is known as the dining room. The human remains of the Morgan family and anyone else the goblin pirates could find around the area were burned in various ovens around here. The human juice, the drippings after a slow cook in the oven, were used to create various dyes. Depending on the type of person that was burned, it yielded a different color. For example, people living on Independence turned into a green-colored dye. People from Xanadu turned into a red-colored dye. Those living on Pristine turned into a blue-colored dye, and so on and so on. As you can see here, the dyes were stored in various small pottery amphoras in this room. The ghosts of this haunted house tend to roam the hallways here, so please be careful. Let's continue moving forward and up the stairs to the 3rd floor.
As we move up to the 3rd floor, we see the first child's room. This is where young butcher Jack lived. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, so Jack always kept a sharp hatchet around. However, on a fateful night during a battle, the goblin pirates grabbed Jack Morgan by the neck and threw him into the fireplace to burn to death. To continue through the haunted house, we have to go through the next door, and there we see
Rose's room. Rose always loved the color red and the sweet smell of a rose flower. She decorated her room in red as much as she could. However, during the attack, the goblin pirates found Rose hiding underneath her bed. She was yanked from underneath the bed and slaughtered by the goblin pirates. Let's continue moving forward up the stairs and onto the 4th floor. When the goblin pirates took over the house, they entrapped No Gump in the alchemist's chamber and forced him to focus on potions. As you can see, No Gump is still trapped in the same location today. He's either working on potions to heal, eat, escape, or random potions of an unknown effect. The problem is, he's been trapped inside these walls. Nobody has been able to kill or release him yet. We continue walking up to the 5th floor. Here we see the old armory. It held the armor and weapons the humans used to fight the battle versus the goblin pirates. As you can see, the resources are somewhat depleted. Let's continue walking up to the 6th floor.
When we get to the 6th floor, I see a pathway of meditation rugs to follow. So I continue walking down the hallway and I open the door into the confession room. I right click the chair and I left click on sit in order to sit in the chair. I look at the daemon priest, confess my sins in the best way I can. Then I stand up by right clicking on the chair I was sitting on and left clicking on stand up and turn right. I open the other door and I see the church with a lot of weird idols lining the walls. We arrive and see for the first time the goblin pirates, and I learn about their massive army of pumpkin dolls. Let's continue walking across the room to the corner so we can go down the stairs.
We traveled down to the 5th floor and see an art gallery, but it was preserved by the goblin pirates for some reason. I imagine it was probably of no use to them. Let's walk across the art gallery and down another floor of stairs. We reach the library on the 4th floor. Some books here may be of interest to people. We stand around gazing at the fireplace. Its mesmerizing fire burns a heat deep within us. It looks like someone moved the bookcase. What's behind the bookcase? We could stick around and examine all the books, but we could also do that later. So therefore, we must continue forward, down the stairs onto the 3rd floor.
We traveled down to the 3rd floor, which is where the Morgan family parents lived, the captain and his wife. On the left, the hot tub yielded a soft, relaxing time after a day of hard work, but quickly evaporated on the night when the goblin pirates slaughtered them. On the coffer, the book contains the following inscription: Born to wealthy Welsh parents, Captain Morgan left the comfortable life for one which proved far more satisfying, that of a buccaneer on the Spanish Main. His feats were many, his exploits endless, and his thirst legendary. We need to continue down another flight of stairs onto the 2nd floor.
We walk carefully down the steps, and we realize we are inside the catacombs. I walk through a hallway. I walk through another hallway. I walk through yet another hallway. And now I see the real reason why the goblin pirates used this home. It was to bury and protect their dead.
As you leave this house, look outside, past the cemetery, and towards the western shoreline. You will see their sunken ship and the bodies of the goblin pirates that drowned or died during the raid. Friends, even though this village has been resettled and is now called New Festival Cove, the goblins and the other aggressive monsters still roam this area. So I want to remind everyone, monsters can kill you. Thank you for visiting New Festival Cove Haunted House, and I hope you have a great day.